Good thing I was also like practicing intermittent fasting because I'm not feeling as if I'm missing a meal right now.
You were hungry before that interview, right?
Hungry for knowledge, but
Hey guys, it's 9:36. Wow, we're getting kind of backed up here. What happened? What happened, guys?
You're talking about rat crap.
I know. Sorry, I got distracted. Got caught up talking about roach smell. Talk Shop Tuesday. Ooh, that's a long one. Let's go ahead and jump in with the Youth Congress real quick, guys. Hi, good morning. We have Vice Speaker Alabang. He's joined by Reps Alexander Gale and Nolan Flores. I don't have much time, but I definitely appreciate you coming on. Al, I was texting you last night. Let's make this like every other week. You guys come on and tell us what you guys are working on and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Sounds good. We'll just go ahead and start with the congressman's speech. If you all were able to watch it, we did have a little panel this morning that kind of discussed some of the things that were covered. So go ahead, Al. Just some of the takeaways from the congressman's address yesterday at the Guam Congress Hall.
Yeah, for me, I just want to credit him on making sure Guam is included in all the federal relief payments that was given to all the other states as well and other territories. And of course, especially with UOG, with the relief that UOG get, UOG was able to postpone the scheduled tuition increase that's supposed to be happening soon. But I feel that the congressman should work more with our local government officials and making sure that the federal relief that brought on the island be spent on the top priorities of our government. And yeah, that's what I think should happen next. And of course, like making sure Guam is included in all talks, especially on the Afghan evacuation and of course a call for negotiation in 2023.
Nolan?
Yeah, I was able to catch it, just the recording though. Yeah, like Al said, he reported on quite a few things, but I think one thing that it was definitely missing from the speech was discussion on political status and decolonization, really. I mean, a lot of the things he talked about, like fighting for Guam's inclusion in federal programs, or even the relief packages, right? Like things that states are already automatically included in. Even also how he discussed negotiating trade agreements as sort of acting like an independent country, right? Those things are related to political status, but that was notably absent from his speech. So yeah, I was a little concerned as to why there wasn't a mention. I mean, the governor has a big commitment to holding a plebiscite during her administration, if not this term, then a future term, but it was absent from his speech. So I was just interested in that contrast. And I wonder his position on it. I mean, we know in the past that he said Guam has had to adult before we can pursue political status change, which I completely agree with. I think that is our step toward becoming much more self-sustaining. So yeah, I was hoping to hear the congressman's remarks and what he's doing in DC to advance that issue when there's a lot being done locally.
You talked about the relief packages, the federal relief packages, and how their states and territories are kind of like default included, right? It's a given that we get this aid. What do you make, though, of, and we talked about this earlier in the panel, of the success the congressman has had in taking credit for this 2-point-something billion in federal funds that, I mean, because of course he's going to take credit for it. He's the one over in Congress. I mean, even if he's absent half the time or whatever, politicians do that kind of thing. But he's managed to like successfully sell this to the people.
Yeah, so it's definitely doing the bare minimum to make sure that we're included in these programs when we're not automatically included. We're not automatically included. So I think that's the bare minimum. I mean, like you said, he's taking credit for something that is the bare minimum for the job. I mean, it'd be even more impressive if there was additional funding coming in and we're getting a more proportionate amount as compared to other states rather than the bare minimum, like I keep saying. Yeah.
Alexander?
In total of his address, in my opinion, is sort of a quite, how do I say this, normal address. It feels very much like a typical like politician, like, stating good times and sort of taking sort of some credit for what has been accomplished. That is at least my opinion. Of course, he tries to distribute credit to others as well during his entire speech. However, to me, it sort of felt like, a promise of good times to come overall. And I think that's a bit optimistic. However, that's just my opinion.
Right. Well, own your opinion, brother. Al, there were some bills that were passed here by the Guam Youth Congress. You want to run through those?
Yeah. So I know we just had to transmit it, like, I think from March until last month's session. So it took time for us because, like, sometimes it takes time for us to transmit. But some of the important bills that I sent you is like Bill 6, which is, if I'm not mistaken, this is for the automatic voter registration in public schools and the Guam Community College and University of Guam. And of course, Bill 9 is making sure that charter school teachers are certified. And of course, Bill 13 is Representative Nolan's bill, which is to reform the SHPO.
The SHPO's office, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. In what ways?
Yeah, if I may, Mr. Vice Speaker. Yeah, so Bill 13-33 in the Youth Congress, it seeks to add minimum qualifications to the SHPO. And it also, minimum qualifications, meaning they need to have a certain degree sort of related to historical preservation, even if that's a degree like tomorrow studies even, or they need to have experience in the field so that it's not just someone who has no experience in the field tasked with this enormous mission of protecting our resources and really serving as our only point or our only point of contact between the federal government and our local government. And then it also kind of legislates proactively against conflicts of interest. So it prohibits the holder of the office from serving either concurrently in federal position or even serving within 2 years of past federal employment.
Yeah. So also basically sounds like you guys are targeting the sitting SHPO, Pat Lujan, who's I think he's in the Air Force, Reserve, and also serving as the SHPO. And interesting. So let me ask you, Alexander, did you support this measure?
I did generally support this measure. I wasn't too involved in the making of it. However, I generally support
so you voted
what
for
has
it?
to present at the table.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, how do you think these concerns that you guys brought up in this legislation that you passed at the Guam Youth Congress level, it kind of sounds like you guys are saying that there are issues with the current SHPO office. I mean, duh.
Yeah, I agree to that. Yeah, so that's why I co-sponsored the bill with Representative Flores. And yeah, I think that the SHPO office for a certain period of time, the SHPO officer is not available due to military deployment.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also reflective of the greater issue, right? And our territorial status and the fact that we have our office of the SHPO that is not just dealing with the military, but it also deals with local development that's being really inundated, bombarded by the huge construction occurring up there. I mean, just driving up there and seeing the trees that are cut down and just the massive level of construction up there, it's really disheartening. And I think that's where we're seeing a lot of the community outcry, especially in the Youth Congress. So, I mean, I think that was the most co-sponsors for a bill in this term. So it really just sends a message, I think, that something must be done. If not the SHPO, something more must be done to protect our resources, whether it's like a new programmatic agreement or something. I think that's the message that it sends.
Right. Well, guys, a good talk. I'll catch up again next week. I'll bring you guys back on as we got a couple segments that we got to take care of. Really interesting, though, that you guys bring up this conflict of interest, because I know that has been a conversation with a lot of the activist community, but I don't think I've seen it reach the legislature, the session floor. I don't know if that has been an issue. And you're right. I mean, it does appear to be. I mean, if you're policing the federal government and you're part of the federal government, and I know, Pat, but just on its face, right, it kind of seems like a big conflict. Like, how would you even tell the military what to do when you're in the military, right? So it is what it is, guys.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. The bill should be introduced in the legislature soon, so
I see.
we're
Okay.
waiting on that. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
And then
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, when we get on next, Al, I want to talk about this cottage industry bill that you guys are looking
Okay.
at. I know the grown-up legislature hasn't addressed it, but I did want to kind of go in on that with your next appearance on the show.
Okay.
Thank you, Vice Speaker Alexander. Good talk, Nolan.
Thank
Good
you.
talk, my friend. That's that.
Just must say.
Oh, come on, so Joss. Let's get into it. 9:47, guys. Ooh, tight squeeze. I love a tight squeeze. Let's go ahead and Talk Shop Tuesdays with our friends at Pacific Grocers. Join us each week for Talk Shop Tuesdays on the link. Tune in every Tuesday morning as Chris, Sabrina, and the rest of the crew take on challenges using different products in their own unique ways, whether it's using familiar items or new products hitting the shelves. It's